Good morning, everybody. We've got a lower trade in the grain markets here early on Tuesday morning. December corn futures down 3/4 cent at 537 and a quarter. January soybeans down 1 3/4 at 1245 and a quarter. December Chicago wheat down 3.5 at 756. December Kansas City wheat down 4 1/4 at 773 and a half. December spring wheat is down 1/4 cent at 1026 and 3/4. If you're listening on the podcast, guys, appreciate it. Leave me a rating or review. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Like these videos, help me to grow this thing. If you need some additional assistance or information from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan in the upper right-hand corner. Sign up for this subscription service, guys. You got to check it out, $49.99 a month. I will send you my morning email. It goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. In that email, you'll be made aware of every overnight headline of importance, daily charts of corn, soybeans, and wheat every single day, all the weather information that you're going to need, all of my grain marketing recommendations, cash sales broken down by crop year, by percentage. This is a monthly subscription. It can be canceled at any time. Certainly give that a shot. We had our crop progress report out from USDA yesterday. The U.S. corn crop is now 66% harvested, up from 52% last week, way ahead of the 53% average. You've got a whole bunch of states here that are 75% complete or better in regard to corn harvest. Those states include Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Texas. Then you've also got a handful of states that are below 50% in terms of corn harvest: Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. You had rains over the weekend in addition to forthcoming rains this week that may stall harvest activity, perhaps. This is the next 7 days, and you're going to see these rains show up in the eastern half of the plains states, like eastern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska, eastern Kansas, and they're going to push forward beginning tomorrow, and this is going to be kind of a slow-moving system that's going to bring another, inch up to maybe 2 inches of rain in parts of Iowa and Missouri through the remainder of the week. So this is something that could certainly stall harvest activity for a second here. But again, corn harvest and soybean harvest also are out in front of their long-term averages. Soybean harvest 73% complete, up from 60 last week, ahead of the 70% average. There are a few states that are better than 80% complete in regard to soybean harvest. Those states include North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, and Louisiana. States in the eastern corn belt have been slower by comparison in regard to soybean harvest. The U.S. winter wheat crop is 80% planted versus 70 last week, right on par with the 80% average. Kansas is 84% done. Oklahoma is 73% done. Texas, 72% done. Colorado, Nebraska, South Dakota are 97% done or better, basically about done there. Your SRW areas in the Midwest are anywhere from 60 to 70% complete generally. As recent rains have stalled planting, I think harvest in some areas when it comes to row crops, they're going to stall winter wheat planting in some areas as well. The crop was rated only, what was the crop rating here? 46% good to excellent nationally in the initial rating of the year, and that was below what people thought. The average for this time of year for that first winter wheat rating is about 52%, so not a fantastic rating initially here. Soybean planting in Brazil moving pretty quickly. Well-followed group Ag Rural said yesterday that 38% of the country's soybean crop was planted through last Thursday. They say that this is the second fastest pace on record behind the 18-19 growing season. Their quote was this: "With good soil moisture, growers took advantage of last week's clear skies to speed up planting." Moisture deficits in Brazil are disappearing very quickly. I've discussed that here the last few weeks. They've had a lot of rain. They've got more rain in the forecast. The country's first corn crop, 64% planted. That's only less than a third of total corn production. U.S. corn and soybean shipments declined last week. Corn inspected for export, 545,000, down from 1 million last week, and 680,000 the same week last year. Total corn inspections for the marketing year are down 24% versus the same period last year. Total soybean inspections for the week, 2.1 million, down from 2.5 last week, down from 2.9 the same week last year. Total soybean inspections for the marketing year are down 45% versus the same period last year. A lot of this goes back to Hurricane Ida and the damage at the Gulf. power outages. We had several weeks where shipments were just very, very slow. U.S. exporters are trying to play catch up here. But again, my concerns that I have discussed at length here regarding the soybean export program, both sales and shipments, total commitments for the marketing year in beans are down 35%. Shipments are down 45%. This is just not a good situation. We need to see much, much better activity in regard to both sales and shipments. U.S. stock market closed at all-time highs yesterday. The S&P 500 and the Dow Jones both posted fresh all-time high closes. The S&P is now up 22% year-to-date. The Dow is up 17% year-to-date. Earnings season has gone pretty well for a lot of big companies. Many of these companies in their earnings reports, however, noted rising or prices that will rise in regard to cost to consumers because of higher costs in regard to their inputs. So inflation is becoming a greater concern among Americans. I've seen a few polls recently, and up until say the last month or two, the biggest concern among Americans when it came to these bigger picture issues was COVID, of course. And now you're getting to a point where many Americans believe that inflation is the bigger issue, and it's kind of eclipsing COVID in terms of what's the biggest issue in regard to Americans and politics and that sort of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said last week that inflation is likely to last longer than previously expected, likely well into next year. So I don't know that this is going away anytime soon. Friday is first notice day for November soybean futures. Make sure you take a look at any remaining open positions there. The cattle market had a decent day yesterday. It could have been better because we did finish off of the highs in both the live cattle and the feeder cattle market, but that cattle on feed report from Friday was kind of friendly. In the outside markets, the U.S. dollar is marginally lower. The S&P is up another 19 points after a record close yesterday. The Dow's up 120. Bonds up a little bit. Precious metals are just marginally lower. Crude oil is up 26 cents, and the December WTI at 84.02. Everybody have a great day today. I'll talk to you guys same time tomorrow.